Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do 5 things we learned from this weekend's historic Hitman Fight League.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure.
First things first, a massive congratulations to Liam Harrison, Andy Howson, Ricky Sewell and Simon Jays who put on a historic event. The production was next level, the fights were insane, and I think Hitman is building a bit of a reputation as a promotion that in order to fight on there, you have to bring your A game and you really have to scrap it out. There was a massive LED screen with Ducati bikes on the stage. It just added for a real glitz and glam show and everything moved smooth as silk. The production was next level. The sort of standards that Hitman Fight League are setting every time they do a show, bigger and better. The graphics on the LED screen which we provided just made the show stand out. The ring, the big Bowlers Arena got absolutely packed to the rafters and the fighters absolutely brought the heat. So let's talk about the 5 things we learned at this historic event. First things first, and I'm very proud to say this one, Bad is a bad man. Fight Division and myself, we've been following the journey of Ubad Hussein, aka Bad, for a long time now. It's a name that was ringing bells and sort of destined for greatness. And I feel like his showing against Ian Gibson on the Hitman Fight League was the very first time on a massive platform like that he was able to showcase his talent and his skills. The potential for Bad to go on to be world champion, one championship fighter is evident to see. He is a relentless fighter. I can't see really a weakness in his game. I'm sure there'll be points where he's tested. As with a lot of John Pop's fighters, they are very well-rounded. There's not really a weakness in Bad's game. Strong body kicks, strong boxing, tucks his chin down, never really gets caught with anything cleanly. Good at elbows, sensational in the clinch. John Pop should be really, really proud of the stable of fighters and the level of fighters that he's bringing out of his gym, because you've got Mohammed Faizan, Essa, all these boys are going to be really, really big names, and Bad is sort of leading the charge, and it's a name that we knew had the potential to reach the top heights, but for a first showing on a major platform, it's really good to see that he did bring the heat. Just a side note as well, Ian Gibson prior to the fight said that he's slept on and no one really knows how good he is. I think he should be really proud of himself, really proud of the performance that he put on, because again, it takes 2 to tango and it was an amazing fight. But Bad is a bad man. Number 2, the undisputed queen. The undisputed queen, Niamh Kinehan, cements her place as one of the best to ever do it. Undisputed world champion. Niamh Kinehan for years has been a role model for young girls getting into Muay Thai to look up to what you can aspire to be. Her career will go down in the history books. If she was to stop, if the injuries would have stopped her, she already would have gone down in the history books as being undisputed world champion. But she's come back, 2 fights, one on the Hungry Side show and one on Hitman, and she is just cementing her place as the undisputed queen of not just British Muay Thai, but I'd say Muay Thai in general. She is a sensational striker. It was really good to see her win this fight, particularly in front of her home crowd at Bowlers Manchester. Being a Manchester girl, it would have meant a lot that. She's had a tough 12 months with injuries, came back, she fought on the Hungry Side show, and then she fought a really game Naomi Ridley for the WMO world title. This battle against Bad Company's Naomi Ridley was billed as a huge female domestic clash. The likes of that we very rarely get to see in female Muay Thai, to be honest. The last really big domestic fight between 2 females I can think of was Becky Caslin and Daniela Miranda. Prior to that, you'll have to let me know in the comments if there's been any big ones, but this really made a buzz online. 2 girls at the top of their game with titles on the line. Who's the best girl? It was a great fight. I think Naomi actually has done an amazing job to get herself in a position where she is sort of, you know, rivaling Niamh, to be honest. When you think 2 years ago, no one really heard of Naomi Ridley. She's won a world title. She called out the WMO about a world title at her weight category, and she actually got one. So, you know, she's literally trailblazing in female Muay Thai. A really lovely lady as well. You can't help but like her. You know, dead down to earth, an absolute demon in the ring. To be honest, she is a really awkward frame to fight. She's very strong, very powerful boxing, well schooled at the Bad Company gym, as we all know, and to get herself in a position where a fight between her and Niamh Kinehan is one that everyone wants to watch, Just hats off to the dedication and the wins and the performances that Naomi has been putting in recently. The first few rounds seemed a little bit tit for tat. I'd say the sharper and stronger shots were coming from Niamh, but Naomi was always there, throwing a right body kick, and she's a very awkward frame. She's very strong. She was definitely by far the bigger person in the ring, and I think it probably took Niamh a little bit of a while to get her range and get her timing down to how she normally is, just because of how awkward it must be to fight Naomi. I actually saw Niamh in the corner talking to Frankie Udders, saying that yeah, she's strong, but I've got her now. I've got the timing right. I know where to hurt her. And I think that timing and the powerful shots coming back from Niamh actually won the fight. There was times where Naomi would kick, or, Naomi would hit Niamh, and Niamh would just come back with a sharp combination. Years of experience and just how to really hurt your opponent. There seemed to be some real venom in the shots that Niamh was throwing, and you could tell by the state of Naomi's legs that Niamh was not there to play. Whenever Naomi would land a shot, Niamh would come back with a sharp combination. Particularly the right hook and the left low kick, the left body kick, was really showing effect on Naomi. But Naomi was game. Naomi was there. Naomi wasn't taking a step back. It was only after the fight we found out that Naomi potentially broke her foot as well, and she just fought on. I've said in a previous video that I classed Niamh almost like a female Giorgio Petrosian. Her timing, her shot selection, her power is just sensational. From southpaw as well, a very difficult operator. And this timing is what won the fight for Niamh. Every time she got hit, she'd come back with heavy hands, heavy low kicks. It was a great fight. It went to the judges, and Niamh won on points to become undisputed world champion in the 63.5 kilogram division, which is heavier than she normally fights. Amazing. I'm really buzzing for both girls because they put out, not only did they represent themselves, the gyms, the families to the best of their ability, they actually represented female Muay Thai to a standard that we just haven't seen in the past. And I imagine it's going to have a ripple effect for young girls fighting in the future. Amazing job, girls. Obviously, being from Manchester, Niamh being from Manchester, I do have a little sweet spot for Niamh, and I'm particularly proud and happy for her. She's had a torrid 12 months with injuries, was looking like she was set to conquer the world 12 months ago. A broken foot, a torn rotor cuff, comes back, really good performance on the Hungry Side show, and then a really good performance against Naomi. Real tough fight as well, no easy fights, no warming up fights, but knowing Frankie Udders as a coach, I knew that he trusted Niamh and would put her against anyone, and you can see why. No signs of ring rust or any after effect from the injuries. Niamh looks back to her best and ready to take on whatever the world has got to throw at her. Number 3, the One Championship tournaments. The Road to One Championship tournaments have been a sensational addition for the Hitman Fight League. Really adds an element of entertainment. The 4-ounce gloves are very dangerous. It's very difficult to know how a fight's going to go. If you get touched in those, you are going to sleep. And that was apparent in the Joe Lemire-Michael Boatwright fight. I'll be honest, Joe Lemire was taking a bit of a hiding. Michael Boatwright looked on top, and then out of nowhere, Joe Lemire hit him with a step left hook and absolutely flatlined him, ending the fight. The semi-final and the final format really has you backing certain fighters and hoping that they can either make it through or obviously make it through to the golden ticket, which is fighting on one championship for a 6-figure contract. So leading on from the last Hitman tournament, which saw Jacob Thompson and Jay Council in a fight of the year contender, beating lumps out of each other. Jacob Thompson went through to the final to fight Iker Valderrama, who beat Igor from Mazda's gym in a first round knockout. And this is what I'm saying about those tournaments. You saw the first fight and you sort of goaded in, you sort of buy into, well, this could happen, that could happen. And then to see them fight again, yeah, like it really adds an element of entertainment. I'm buzzing to see that they're carrying on this format. Everyone's eager to see who goes through to the final, who wins, and who has that chance to fight on one championship. After the first fight with Jay Council, which still in my eyes is a fight of the year, I'll be honest, I had Jacob Thompson as a massive favourite going into this against the Spaniard Iker Valderrama. Jacob is a very dangerous fighter, strong, powerful, good hands, good kicks, clean technique, very good in the clinch. A product of the JD team and style, Andy Newall has his fighters fighting a particular way, proper Muay Thai, and it's paying dividends, to be honest. There's some serious fighters coming out of that gym, and they all seem to have a very clean, technical, aggressive, powerful style. Going into this, I thought Jacob Thompson was going to walk over Valderrama. When it came down to the fight, Valderrama absolutely shocked me. He stood his ground, was able to withstand a barrage of punches. He actually landed several left high kicks that definitely rocked Jacob Thompson. He stood his ground and landed some pretty heavy left high kicks to Jacob. Jacob, to be fair, is just a Terminator. Took him on the chin, carried on coming forward, relentless pressure. When you think about a pressure fighter, you think of someone just throwing, heavy shots. But Jacob, heavy like hands and knee. Jacob's shot selection is very varied, to be honest. He can throw his hands, low kicks, knees, clinch, height, like the full works. He is a very rounded fighter, and I think he did win this fight, and I think he's going to absolutely entertain and put some of the best fighters on the planet, give him a real test in One Championship. I hope he performs his best on One Championship. He fully deserves it, just off of the Jay Council fight itself. But again, against a very tough Spaniard in Valderrama, came out on top, ended up finishing it with a barrage of punches in the corner after several knockdowns. Valderrama took 3 to 5 minutes on a low blow break, but I'll be honest, it wasn't going to stop Jacob. Jacob just came forward and he just wanted it more and really, really performed to win that chance to fight on One Championship. There's one thing for sure, he will definitely entertain the One Championship crowd. Number 4, the huge domestic clash between Joe Craven and Josh Hill. This was a massive domestic clash, built up due to it being cancelled in February earlier this year on a previous Hitman. I think this just added more fuel to the fire. For both fighters, for fans. The fact that these boys have been actively trying to fight each other for the best part of 12 months just goes to show how much they both want it. Both have trained together, they must have done countless rounds of sparring, so knew each other inside out and really wanted to test the steel against each other on the biggest stage. So this fight was at 75 kilograms, and if I'm honest, when I first heard that, I thought that suits Craven down to the ground. I've seen Josh Hill, and Josh Hill's a big fella. I've seen Josh Hill cut down to 69, 68, 70, for him to fight at 75, I thought that suits Craven, his heavy hands. That suits his game plan, I reckon. But when they both lined up in the ring, it went to show actually how massive Josh Hill is. I think he suits the higher rounds. He normally has quite a point-scoring style where his left kick, he wins a lot of fights through traditional Muay Thai scoring. When he's heavier, those point-scoring shots actually land hard and cause effect. And I think this is what won the fight for him. The game plan was pretty apparent from both boys from the get-go. Josh Hill stayed on the back foot. He was calm, calculated, waited for Joe Craven to come in and landed the body kicks. And like I say, in the lighter weights, there's not much effect on those kicks. This Josh Hill was landing powerful body kicks that you could see was frustrating Craven but also causing a lot of damage. Craven's game plan was obvious. Get close, get past the left body kick and start unloading heavy hands onto Josh, to the head, to the body, low kicks to slow him down. A real good clash of styles. Like I say, Craven's mission was to get past the kick, get in range and start unloading some heavy boxing. He would have been riled up by the fact that his last fight on the Hitman was a massive, massive KO victory against Michael Wakelin for the ISK world title. He would have been buoyed by that, knowing he's got the power in his hands to turn off elite level strikers. As the fight went on, the body kicks seemed to really show some effect against Craven. He was almost frustrating Craven, Josh Hill, with his kicks, keeping him at range. It was almost like Craven didn't really have a plan B, to be honest. He was hoping he could get past that left body kick. Josh Hill was patient. Now, you've got to remember, this is almost a home show for Craven. The crowd for Craven blew the roof off. And for Josh Hill just to stand there patiently, picking him off, it really frustrated Craven, I think. And it actually got to Craven. The fact that the crowd were egging him on made him come forward more, made him want the fight more. And just with the patience of Josh Hill, he was able to sort of capitalise on this onslaught that Craven was putting on him and just keep scoring. And like I say, keep hurting with those long body kicks. Now, Craven did have success. He got close. He hit Josh with some heavy shots, but Josh sort of stuck to game plan, tucked his chin in, hands high, and kept delivering with the body kicks and keeping his range. Pretty much a masterclass from Josh Hill. You heard Kevin Harper in the corner giving constant advice to his fighter on how to keep the range, where to move, and how to score. And it wasn't just scoring, it was hurting. So like I say, couple of good body kicks, really targeting the body, and then Josh Hill went down low with a left hook to the body that actually dropped Craven. Now, Craven, being the fighter with a massive heart that we know that he is, got up, really went forward. We've seen him get knocked down 3 times by a Spanish fighter, Carlos, and he came forward and actually won that fight. So there's no question in this lad's heart. Came forward, was ready for a tear-up. Josh Hill didn't get drawn into that antics, stayed calm, stayed composed. Like I said, dropped him with a left hook to the body. Joe Craven stepped up, came at him, and then the step left knee, clinch left knee was what finished it. And as a lot of fighters know, if you get hit in the body in the right spot, it's worse than a knockout. You're just not recovering from that in the ring. I've got to say a massive congratulations to Josh Hill. It's been a long journey for him, and he is one of the good guys. He deserves good things to happen to him because he's a really nice fella, really good fighter. I do think I prefer him at them heavier weights. If he fights at them heavier weights where the shots are landing and are effective, he's a very, very dangerous and entertaining fighter. He's a mountain of a man as well. He's about 6'4". How he gets down to the weights he gets to, I'll never know. But massive congratulations to the new ISK World Champion, Josh Hill. Number 5, The Last Dance, the Hitman's Last Assassination. During the Hitman Fight League, there was an announcement in the middle of the ring. The ever-present and flamboyant Vinny Shulman came in the ring and brought in Liam the Hitman Harrison, a man that needs no introduction, one of the greatest fighters, not only out of the UK, but one of the greatest fighters of all time to ever fight and compete in Muay Thai. A legend of the sport. Recently announced his retirement from one championship after a defeat against Sexan, but as stated, he's got one more fight left in March on the Hitman Fight League for the WBC Diamond Belt. Here's what the Hitman had to say.
And I no one gives more blood, gives more snot, gives more sweat than this guy beside me. This is my 40th year in Muay Thai, and if you've heard my commentary on various shows around the world, when he's fighting, I'm extremely biased. And you know what I say? I don't care. Who cares? Liam, one last dance.
You've been part of this rivalry from the start, and you've seen what we've gone through, and you know what? All these guys, they have been there for me through the wins, the losses, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the good times, the bad times, and they've stuck with me. I have a moral obligation to end my career where it all started. My first ever fight was here in Manchester. My last ever fight was here in Manchester. And I believe in you. I have got into the tank for sure. I've been running on fumes for a little bit, we've still got a little bit left in the tank, and I will still give you one last night of action, drama, knockdown, knockout. I will empty the tank, and I will give you everything I've got, because you won't give me everything you've got for the last 25 years. And it's been beautiful to share my journey with all you, and you've been there for me from the start. So I'm going to end it on a high in here for the WBC Diamond Belt, and I'll become the UK's first ever WBC Diamond Champion. Male fighter.
A real bit of serendipity for Liam Harrison. He stated that his career started in Manchester in bowlers and his career will officially end in bowlers, and he's going to give the crowd one last hurrah and has absolutely conquered the world of Muay Thai. He's got nothing left to prove but wants to come back on his own show and give the fans one more last dance, one more final assassination, one more wig removal, one more head must roll for the Hitman, and we can't wait to see it. Liam Harrison has single-handedly put Muay Thai on his back and become one of the biggest stars in the sport. It will be a real night to remember in March on the Hitman Fight League to see his last fight, and we can't wait to be there. The crowd is going to blow the roof off the gaff. So there you have it, folks, 5 things that we learnt from this historic Hitman Fight League event. Again, a massive thank you to the Hitman Fight League team for having us there filming ringside. Make sure you check out the fights going on the Fight Division YouTube soon. I'll catch you on the next one.